Alright, welcome back to another turn of Operation Montagnard. This is going to be... snap. I think it's turn 5. Yeah, turn 5 for the Japanese July 38. I believe there's no housekeeping, so let's just get straight into it. I have the text set aside. I'm rolling for improved factories and improved construction again. And hit on improved construction, miss on factories. I'm okay with that. Alright, for the buys, I'm declaring 2 Marines, 2 Artillery, and 1 Airborne for the full 19. Into combat movements, we do actually have combat moves this time. Don't worry, all these plans are very convoluted. We'll go through them one at a time, and it'll clear itself up, and we can go from there. So I am going to be declaring war on China. Both the CCP and KMT, they would be declared war at the end of the turn anyway, but I am declaring war on both of them right now. So the Americans go up by 5, I believe. I should really have double-checked this. Declares war on China. 2 for FEC, Anzac, Great Britain, 1 for France, 5 for USA. Yep, that was right. So 2 for GB, 2 for France, no, 1 for France, 2 for FEC, and 2 for Anzac. And then USA goes up to 11. And also the Japanese lose 1 peacetime income for declaring an attack. Alright, so let's go ahead and start moving units around. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work south to north. Okay, so from the south, the battlecruiser in P-50 is moving up into P-41, where it's joining the fleet and bombarding Kwangtung. It's going to be joined by everything that remains on the second fleet. Other units are going other places, but the things that remain on the second fleet are 4 heavy cruisers, 2 battleships, and 1 light carrier. All of those are non-combating into P-41 as well. The units which can are going to bombard, which is going to be 2 battleships, 1 battlecruiser, and 2 heavy cruisers, I believe. The other 2 units are just hanging out in the sea zone. We'll count up the number of units which are amphibiously assaulting Kwangtung in just a moment and make sure that's alright. Okay, for naval transports, one of the naval transports which started in P-15 is going to be moving into P-33, picking up an infantry from Okinawa, moving into P-41, and then picking up an infantry from Formosa. One of those is disembarking into Hainan, the other is disembarking for an amphibious assault into Kwangtung. Alright. And the last units going into Kwangtung will be one naval transport from P-15 is moving into P-14, where it will pick up 2 infantry, well, 2 Marines and an infantry alongside a destroyer. Those are going to go into P-32 and disembark all those units into an amphibious assault of Hunan. I grabbed the wrong units there, so these will just move back. That's fine. Okay, another naval transport from P-15 is going to be moving into P14, picking up an infantry, well, a marine, and an artillery. Those are going to move south into P41, and those are going to join the combat in Kwangtung. Actually, the destroyer that moved to P32 is going to continue south into P41 and join Kwangtung. So that's 2 marines, an infantry, and an artillery in Kwangtung. That's 4 units which can... I'm actually not so happy with that. This destroyer was supposed to pick up a marine from Kyushu and join as well. So there will be 3 marines, 1 infantry, 1 artillery for 5 total units, which is what I thought I had. Scale this guy back up to where he was. Scaled him down because he was in the way of all those drawings. Okay, so then that means that's done, and that's done. Alright, so that's all the naval transports in the south. Okay, continuing, a naval transport from P15 is picking up a marines and a cavalry, moving into P14, and then the marine and cavalry are disembarking into Beiping. And then the last naval transport is going into P14 as well, and then it is going to pick up and deposit 2 marines and an infantry into Shangtung with the destroyer that stayed in P14 as well. So all those units are staying in P14 here. Alright, that should be all of the naval transports. Yeah, okay. So, more naval combat movements. The fleet carrier from P15 is also moving into P14. And that has to be a combat move because it is going to be catching aircraft at the end of the combat movement phase. Move those over. Get the fleet carrier out of the way. There we go. Alright, let's do aircraft movement and Manchuria. Starting south again, 2 fighters from Formosa are flying 1, 2, 3 into Shangtung, and they have 1 movement remaining to land in P14. 1 tactical bomber from Korea is flying 1, 2, 3, 4 to Kwangtung, and it has 1 remaining movement to land on the light carrier in P41. 1 fighter is going to fly to Hunan. Yeah, I'll be okay with that. 1, 2, 3, and it still has 2 movement left on, so it can land on Formosa. And then remaining from Korea, 1 airborne is going to board the air transport, and it's going to fly 1, 2, 3 to Tsinghai, and it's going to be joined by the tactical bomber, which has 2 movement remaining to land in Rihi. And the remaining of the 18th Air is attacking Suyan, which is just 1 fighter and 1 tactical bomber. From Rihi, 3 infantry and 1 marine are all going to be attacking Beiping with the amphibious assault. And also from reheat, the remaining infantry class, well, all land units, that's 1 artillery, 1 motor infantry, 2 cavalry, and 5 infantry, are going into Suyan. And that will be all of the combat moves declared. There's nothing left to declare. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into rolling them. I'll roll these north to south, so we'll start in Suyan. I have some die here. I'm going to go ahead and roll this one for the first strike on the artillery. Hits on 2 or less. That's a miss. Pressing with 2 cavalry, hitting on 2 or less. That's a 1 hit, so 1 militia is dead. Moving on with 1 boosted infantry. That's another hit, so both militia are dead. And then 4 at 1. That's all misses. And then we have, for aircraft, a tactical bomber. That's a hit, and a fighter. That's a miss. So that's going to be the first round casualties for the defenders. Let's roll the defensive round. First off, we'll roll 3 at 2. That's 2 militia and a cavalry. 1 hit, which will go on an infantry. And then 2 rolls for infantry at 4. No hits. Fantastic. Alright, pressing on to round 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 at 2. I'm going to roll the aircraft first, actually. They just might sweep it. So we'll roll the tactical bomber first. Miss. Fighter. Hit. So 1 of these infantry is dead. 4 units at 2. That's 2 cavalry, 1 artillery, 1 boosted infantry. All misses, and then 4 units at 1. All misses. Okay, and then we roll 2 defending rolls at 4. That's 1 hit. So another infantry is dead. And then roll for the aircraft. This is the tactical bomber. That's a hit, and that'll win it. So we roll for the defense. 1 more infantry at 4. That's a miss. Okay, Suyan is captured. 2 units were killed. And I need a roundel for the new territory. Alright, let's continue on to Singhai. Alright, we'll have 1 roll at 3, and then I'll use a black die for the tactical bomber at 7. The airborne hits at 2, not 3. Alright, just 1 hit, and then 2 rolls back at 2. No hits. So continuing on with round 2, the airborne now hits on a 1. That's a hit on both units, so defending with a militia on a 2 or less. Miss. Fantastic. Okay, so Singhai is also captured. I don't like these being so big. They'll get in the way of other stuff later. Alright. Okay, moving on to Beiping. We have 5 die at 2, and that's it right now. All misses. Oh well, and then he rolls back at a 3 with targets. Well, he can't target select any vehicles on this round. That's a miss. Okay, round 2, pressing with 5 infantry class and 1 cavalry. All misses. Yeah, okay. And then rolling back with another militia at 3 with a target select on 1. Okay, round 3. Defending. That's a hit. Gonna take the hit. It has to be an amphibious assault hit, so it will be on the cavalry. Alright, so I'm gonna roll all of them at once now. The attacking are the 5 at 2, and the defender is the green at 3. Nothing. Nothing. Oh, did get 1 hit. Okay, so that's it. And we lost 1 unit taking Beiping. Alright, I'm leaving the rest of the CCP alone. Okay, let's move on to Shantung. We've got 3 infantry class, which I'll roll here. We'll roll the tactical bomber in green and the fighter in black. So this is the attackers for Shantung. So that's 3 hits, that's all of them. And then on defense, we have 3 infantry at 4. 2 hits. Oh well, I brought 2 Marines for that. That's unfortunate. Okay, moving on to Hunan. We'll do the same thing, but we only have 2 infantry class rolling. And we only have... Oh, I had 2 fighters here, not a fighter and a tactical, so this was a miss. One KMT infantry is still surviving, and we need to press for continuing. Okay, so 2 fighters and an infantry class. Alright, that's going to be the clear, and then on defense we have a roll of 4 or less. God dang it. Oh, come on. Ugh! Shantung is important. Yeah, I'll just leave it in KMT hands. That's unfortunate. Alright, moving on to Hunan. Now we have 1 fighter and 2 infantry. That's 2 hits. And then in defense, we have 3 at 4. 1 hit. Okay, that's the Marine dead. and then pressing. Fighter is still black. That's a hit, and on defense. God dang it! Okay. Oh well. That is really incredibly unfortunate. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go to Kwangtung. Alright, we have, for Bombards, we'll have 2 battleships at 4. Okay, 2 hits, and those will be both taken on militia. I would assume AAA are the first priority target, except on first strikes. So we'll take away 2 of those. A battle cruiser at 3. That's a miss, and then 2 heavy cruisers at 2. That's 1 more hit. Okay, Bombards were actually really good there. I would have preferred to take these 2 territories, though. Okay, round 1 will have 4 infantry class and a tactical bomber. The infantry class roll at 1. Tactical bomber hits with target select. I am going to target select an infantry, and then none of the infantry hit. Okay, so for defense, we're going to have 1 roll with a AAA on a 3 or less. Okay, and then 2 rolls at 4 and 1 roll at 2. That's 1 hit, which will go on a Marines. Okay, this battle's not so bad so far. Okay, pressing for round 2, we have 2 infantry at 1, 2 units at 2, and a tactical bomber at 7. Just 1 hit, and it is another target select, so I'm going to target select the other infantry. And then in defense, we'll roll 1 at 4, which is going to be the red, and 1 at 2, which is going to be the militia. Nice. That's all misses, so the infantries are gone. Pressing. That's no hits. Rolling for the militia in defense. That's a hit. That'll be taken on the infantry. Yeah, it'll be fine. Alright, pressing. No hits. Militia defending. Miss. I'll roll them all at once now for the next few rounds until it's over. So this one will still be the tactical bomber, and the one on the left, the black one on the left, will be the defending militia. All misses again, except 1 hit on the defenders. That's going to be an artillery dead. Oh boy, I actually don't like that. I'm going to take the hit on a marine, not an artillery. I just cannot win my battles this game. Okay, so this is still alive. We have 1 infantry, 1 artillery alive. Alright, pressing. That's a hit. That's going to go on the AAA, and he also got a hit, because of course he did. That's going to go on the artillery. So this is going to be an infantry class rolling at 1 now. Oh my god! This is obscene. This is almost literally obscene. Alright, I guess I'm retreating, and they get to keep Kwangtung. How did I have such a good roll at the start and still... just... That's so crazy. Okay. Okay, whatever. Let's get into non-combat movements. The tactical bomber from Kwangtung is going to fly into the tactical bomber, or the light carrier from P-41. The fighter from Hunan is landing in Formosa. The 2 fighters from Shangtung are landing in P-14. The tactical bomber from Singhai has to land in Rihe. The transport plane will land in Rihe as well. The 18th from Suyeon will re-land in Korea. And that's all of the end of the combat movement phase. Alright, let's do non-combat. A TBD and both TBDs from P-15 are moving into P-32. They're going to get joined by 1 light cruiser from P-15, and the other one is going to join the fleet in P-14. And then last, the infantry and mountain infantry from eastern Manchuria are moving to Rihe. And that should be non-combats complete. So let's place buys. We'll start with the recruit roll for Siam. That's a miss. Place buys, collect income. Oh gosh. Oh, I really needed those KMT territories. That's so freaking bad. Okay, Alright, so I'm collecting 19 plus 2 for oil, plus 1 for the Chinese coast. That's 22. Oh. Okay, let's place these. The 2 infantry, or the 2 artillery and marines are going in Kyushu. The airborne is going in Rihe. Alright, that should be the Japanese completely done. An abysmal turn 5. I'll do a unit recap for tactical, and actually I will also need to roll for Sikang. This is going to be the only territory that borders the CCP, and so it's the only one that has a chance to align to the CCP. So I am going to check the rules here, and then figure out whether high numbers or low numbers go to the CCP. I don't know where the rule book is on this board. whatever. I have 4.1 rules here. Low numbers go CCP. Okay, so we'll roll 1 die for C Kang. And it goes CCP. Great. Did need that. And then all the other warlords are going to be KMT. So I will make sure the board state reflects that when I pass it off to tactical. But for now, I won't waste everyone's time during the recording. All that just needs to be done after recording before I pass it off. Okay, I will now do a quick unit recap where all my units are, and then I can pass the board off. Still 1 submarine in M8. P-50 has 2 submarines and 2 coastal submarines. P-41 has 2 destroyers, 2 naval transports, 2 battleships, 4 heavy cruisers, 1 battle cruiser, 1 light carrier, and 1 tactical bomber. Hainan has 1 infantry. Formosa has 1 fighter. P-43 has a light cruiser, 2 TBDs, and a naval transport. P-14 has 2 naval transports, a destroyer, a light cruiser, a fleet carrier, and 2 fighters. Kyushu has 2 marines and 2 artillery. Korea has a fighter and a tactical bomber. Rihe has 1 infantry, 1 mountain infantry, 1 airborne infantry, 1 tactical bomber, and 1 transport plane. There's nothing in the rest of Manchuria. Beiping has 3 infantry and 2 marines. Suyan has 1 motor infantry, 1 artillery, 2 cavalry, and 3 infantry. And then technically I missed a few marines, or a few militia. There's a militia in the Kuril Islands, Bonin, Volcano, Carolyn, Palau, and Marshall. And then Okinawa has a seaplane. I don't know if I mentioned that already. Alright, that should be everything, and I should be able to pass the board off to tactical, and I should stop saying best of luck, because apparently this is what happens when the Allies have best of luck. But I'll say it anyway. Best of luck, and see you guys next time.